Have you ever wondered why a certain person keeps appearing in your heart, no matter how much time passes? Why their name shows up unexpectedly? Why they appear in your dreams? Or why your soul feels a strange connection you can't explain? What if I told you that this isn't just emotion or coincidence? What if these repeated signs are not from your mind, but from your Lord? Because sometimes Allah places someone in your heart, not for attachment but for awakening. In this video, we're going to uncover the deeper meaning behind these persistent signs, what they could mean for your journey, and how to respond spiritually when Allah keeps sending you signals about someone specific. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear might just answer the questions your soul has been silently asking all along. The heart is not random. It's a vessel Allah uses. There's something deeply sacred about the human heart, something far beyond what biology can explain. In the spiritual world, the heart isn't just an organ pumping blood. It's a compass, a silent receiver, a vessel through which the divine whispers. When someone begins to visit your heart repeatedly, without invitation, without cause, it is not always a sign of longing. It may be a sign of meaning. Because in the unseen world, where the soul listens more than the body speaks, the heart often becomes the first place Allah plants a message. Not in your inbox, not in your ears, but in your chest. In the quiet place between your ribs where dunya ends and ruh begins. Have you ever noticed how someone's name arises in your mind while you're in sujood, or just before you fall asleep? That's not random. That's not romance. That might be Rama. Sometimes Allah uses your heart to carry the emotional weight of another, because maybe that person is too tired to carry it alone. Maybe your dua is meant to reach them before your words ever do. Maybe your connection isn't for companionship, but for compassion. This is why, when someone fills your chest space again and again, your first reaction should not be haste. It should be humility. Don't run to text them, run to your prayer mat. Don't assume they are your soulmate. Assume they might be your amana. Ask yourself, is my heart echoing with their presence because they are spiritually suffering? Am I meant to intercede for them through prayer, unseen and unthanked? Or is Allah preparing me gently for a future trial or a hidden mercy? Never confuse the movement of your heart with the desires of your ego. The nafs is loud and impatient, but the heart, when it is purified, receives the subtleties that eyes overlook. Al-Latif, the most subtle, does not scream. He nudges, and his nudges land soft, right where your soul still remembers him. So when your heart speaks, don't argue with it. Just listen and take it back to the one who made it beat in the first place. 2. Repetition is a form of divine attention. One moment is just a fleeting thought. The next, it's a whisper you can't ignore. The third time, it's a divine signal. When Allah wishes to draw your attention to something or someone, He doesn't rely on clamor or chaos. He doesn't announce Himself with sirens. He speaks softly through the rhythm of repetition, subtle, deliberate. Like the way the ocean touches the shore again and again, each wave with purpose, each ripple a reminder. Think about it. Why does a person's name keep entering your thoughts uninvited? Why do you dream about them over and over again, even though you've barely spoken? Why do certain sounds, words, or verses during your prayers inexplicably remind you of them? That's no accident. That's Allah, using repetition as His method of attention. When something shows up consistently, it's not just your mind playing tricks, it's your soul being summoned. But here's where the mystery unfolds. Not all repetition means that you're supposed to move closer.
Not every time your heart beats faster with a thought about someone is a sign to chase it. Sometimes it's the opposite. Repetition can be Allah's way of telling you it's time to let go. Or perhaps He's asking you to pray for someone, to release them into the care of His mercy, or to guide them in ways unseen. Maybe He's placing them on your heart, not for connection, but for compassion, as you are spiritually linked, without realizing it, to someone else's struggle. It's not always about union, it's about intention. Repetition might also serve as a warning, subtle yet strong, that some doors are not meant to be opened. Allah's wisdom is boundless, and what He places on your heart is not for you to assume, but to observe and reflect upon. So next time you feel the pull, the repeated sign, don't rush to act, pause. Let Allah guide you through the quiet rhythm of the heart. You may not yet understand the purpose, but trust that in His timing the reason will become clear. 3. Dua reveals the purpose behind the signs. When Allah grants you a sign, don't rush to act. Pause, breathe. Your next move is not a step forward, it's a step inward, a call to your Lord. It's dua. Dua is the humble acknowledgement that something deeper is unfolding, beyond the surface of your heart's flutter. It's your way of saying, Ya Allah, I see the signs you're sending. Now help me understand their purpose. Your heart, no matter how pure, is only one piece of the puzzle. The basira, your inner vision, needs Allah's divine light to see clearly through the darkness of uncertainty. When a person keeps appearing in your heart, the instinct might be to chase them, to try and find the reason through your own perception. But true clarity doesn't come from chasing thoughts or desires. It comes from Allah, through dua, where you place the question before Him and ask for guidance. If this person is meant to be a part of your story, Allah will ease the path, open doors, and soften hearts. If they are not meant to be in your life, dua will act as a release, gently untangling the attachment that has formed without breaking your spirit. Allah knows what is best for you, even when you cannot yet understand it. Remember the dua of Prophet Ibrahim, alayhi salam, a man who prayed not only for himself, but for generations of believers he would never meet. His prayers were not bound by the limitations of time, space, or understanding. He prayed with the full trust that Allah would fulfill His promises in ways unseen. So when you are faced with a repeating sign, do not minimize the power of your dua. Do not think your supplications are small just because the answers have not yet arrived. Your dua, no matter how quietly spoken, is not lost in the heavens. It moves mountains in the unseen. Dua is not a passive act. It is an active engagement in the divine realm. It's action in the unseen, a powerful tool Allah has given to His servants. And Allah, in His infinite mercy, never lets sincere action go to waste. Every prayer you make is heard, even if you cannot see its immediate impact. When the signs come, turn to dua with a heart full of trust. Your understanding will come, not all at once, but in the time Allah knows is best for you. 4. Is it a test, a distraction, or a destiny? Here's the part most people overlook, the part that requires patience and deep reflection. Just because someone keeps appearing on your heart doesn't mean they're your destiny. In fact, it could be one of three things: a test of patience. Will you wait for Allah's clarity, or will you let your desires lead you astray? A distraction, a test to see if you will lose focus on the purpose Allah has set for you. A destiny, but only if you approach it with spiritual responsibility and understanding. When Allah places someone in your heart, it's easy to rush to conclusions. It's tempting to believe that their constant presence is a sign to move forward with them. But here's the challenge. Your reaction to their presence is what ultimately shapes the outcome. If you rush, attach, or obsess over the thought, you might completely miss the wisdom Allah intends for you. Rushing doesn't bring clarity. It only clouds your vision. And often, it leads to decisions driven by ego and desire, rather than divine wisdom. But when you surrender to Allah's plan, when you make dua and wait for divine timing, the truth will reveal itself. Tawakkul, trust in Allah, teaches us that we don't always have to rush. We don't need to figure it all out in our own timing. Allah knows what's hidden in our hearts, and He knows what's best for us. Sometimes, Allah places a person on your heart to test your patience. Will you wait for the clarity He promises? Or will you get distracted by your own desires and act impulsively? Other times, that person is simply a distraction, meant to pull you away from your spiritual path and your ultimate purpose. They might be a reminder that you need to stay focused on your connection with Allah, not on the fleeting attachments of this world. And then, there's the possibility that this person is indeed part of your destiny, but only if you approach the situation with the right heart and the right intention. If you try to force it, if you become overly attached, you risk clouding what Allah intends for you. But if you approach them with spiritual awareness, guided by dua and trust in divine wisdom, then the path to destiny becomes clear. The key here is awareness. Awareness that not every sign is a green light to move forward. Awareness that your reaction, your patience, and your trust in Allah's plan will determine whether this connection is a test, a distraction, or a true blessing. 5. Protect your heart from misinterpretation. Here's a warning, and it's clear. Shaitan loves to play with signs. He's subtle. He'll take a simple, innocent feeling and blow it out of proportion. Attends.
What starts as a gentle thought can easily turn into a fantasy, a romantic drama in your mind. He thrives on confusion, twisting the clarity Allah offers into something distorted. That's why your heart must be guarded, especially when it comes to people, especially when the signs feel beautiful. Shaitan knows how to make things seem perfect, how to make your heart yearn for what it might not be ready for, or what might not be best for you. Don't fall into the trap of assuming that every sign means a union, a relationship, or a connection. Allah's signs don't always point towards something you desire. Some signs are there to teach you boundaries, to help you grow in your patience and reliance on Allah. Some signs are there to strengthen your iman, your faith, not to fulfill your fleeting desires. This is the hardest part. Being honest with yourself. When you see these signs, ask yourself, am I interpreting this through my desire or through my deen? Am I chasing someone emotionally or am I being guided spiritually? It's easy to let your emotions run wild, especially when the signs feel so strong, so meaningful. But that's when you need to be the most cautious. Is your heart being guided by the light of Allah? Or are you being led by your ego, your feelings, and your fantasies? Protecting your heart isn't just a matter of not acting on impulses. It's a form of worship. It's about tawakkul, placing your trust in Allah to guide you, not letting your desires or shaitan's whispers dictate the course of your decisions. Every sign must be verified with Allah. Take it to dua. Ask Him to show you the true meaning of what's being revealed. Protect your heart by asking for guidance and clarity before making any emotional decisions. Remember, not every sign is an invitation. Some signs are there to test your attachment to this world and to remind you that your true connection is with Allah alone. Shaitan's role is to cloud that connection with false interpretations. Don't let him win. 6. When the sign aligns with peace, you'll know. You don't need fireworks or butterflies to know a sign is from Allah. When Allah speaks to your heart, it doesn't come with chaos or confusion. It comes with sakina, a deep, peaceful tranquility. When the sign is from Allah, it will not overwhelm you. It will not cause restlessness or anxiety. Instead, it will bring calmness, even in the midst of uncertainty. You'll feel safety in the unknown, because Allah's guidance never leaves you with fear. It leaves you with peace. That's the final and most powerful sign you can receive: tranquility. If your heart is racing with excitement, but your soul feels steady and at ease, that's Allah's guidance. It means that while your emotions may be strong, you're not being led by them. Instead, your inner peace comes from the trust you place in Allah. You don't feel the need to rush, to control, or to force the outcome. That's clarity. If your feelings are intense but your prayers feel clear, if your thoughts are filled with questions but your heart is still at rest, that's Allah giving you direction. In these moments, you can move forward with confidence, not because you understand everything, but because your soul is aligned with His will. This is the true peace that comes when Allah reveals His will to you. You'll know it because you won't feel obsessed. You won't feel torn in a million directions. You won't be overwhelmed by the emotional tides. You'll know, deep down, that everything is unfolding as it should. So don't rush the process. Allow it to unfold naturally, with trust in Allah's timing. Because when Allah truly places someone in your heart for a reason, whether as a test, a lesson, or a blessing, He also makes the path easy. He removes the confusion, the anxiety, and the uncertainty. And He fills the journey with a light. That peace is a sign in itself. It's the ultimate confirmation that Allah is guiding you. When the sign aligns with tranquility, you'll know you're on the right path. When Allah places someone on your heart, it's never without purpose. But the wisdom behind it is not always immediate. It's discovered through patience, dua, and trust. Don't rush to interpret. Don't chase feelings. Instead, ask Allah to show you the truth behind the sign, whether it's for union, intercession, or release. If this message resonated with you, even in the smallest way, don't keep it to yourself. Share this reminder with someone whose heart might be carrying the same weight. Subscribe if you want more content that speaks to your soul and reconnects you to the one who placed that soul within you. And always remember, what is from Allah will never confuse you. It will calm you.